Hey guys, this is Justin. I'm so freaking poor Watson, and you're listening to episode 17 of Exposure, a half-hour sit-down with online's greatest and wondrous content creators. And today's guest is Jim Sweeney. Let's start the show, everybody. Today we have a great show for you. We'll start off with Word of the Week, and then we'll get into an interview with Jim Sweeney, a fellow podcaster who runs the podcast Michael in Sports. He has published over 600 blogs and 36 sports comic books. We'll give you an update on the Slowlist Network. We'll go over our obsessions of the week. We'll give you a hashtag free Steven update, and we'll end with Article of the Week. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be right back. And guys, we're back with Word of the Week, and today's Word of the Week is called pre-wake. Listen guys, I had no idea what this meant, so I had to find out. Here's the definition. A party held in honor of an ill individual expected to die soon, often a family member. And after I read that, the first thing that came to mind is, do people do this? I mean, I understand not being sad about death, and you know, it's just a natural part of the cycle. But if I'm sick in bed, I don't want everybody dancing around me. Is this a thing? My mother-in-law has lung cancer, so we held a pre-wake with all her family members from around the country. And why did it have to be called a pre-wake? Why not just, we're just having a party. We're having a little get-together. A pre-wake? I don't know. I remember there was an episode of Golden Girls where I guess Sophia kind of wanted to do a pre-wake. I mean, she wasn't dying, but, a lot of her friends were dying. She was like, oh, well, I want to be around for the wake. I don't want it to be after I die. But everyone was sad because they thought she was actually dead. I don't know. Let me know if you have ever had a pre-wake. If you're a pre-wake organizer, I would like to interview you. I would like to know what your job is like. And I'm pretty sure the person who's like terminal, are they cool with that? Are they like, you know what, yeah, let's just party on, Oh, what a depressing party subject. Your death. I mean, I guess you could just change it. Oh, we're celebrating your life, yeah. I don't know. First, like the celebrating life thing is just like, if they're still alive, it's kind of hard to. The reality is right there, and I think that's the big thing. It's just like, well, at least if somebody's passed away, they're not in the room or anything. You can be like, oh well, we're celebrating their life. But if I have to look at you right there, and I'm gonna be like, no, I don't think I can pretend like we're celebrating your life. Who comes up with this stuff? We'll be right back in an interview with Jim Sweeney.
Return after these messages.
Hey, did you guys know you can get even more content from your two favorite hosts? Just go to YouTube and search Slowlist Network. You can catch our reviews of popular shows like Bloodline, other podcasts, and full episodes of Exposure. Don't forget to subscribe.
So everybody loves online shopping, and everyone pretty much loves Amazon. I know I do. It's so convenient and easy to use. Well, now you can do your regular shopping and support Exposure by using our affiliate link. That's j.mp/Slowlist. Use our link and just shop as you usually would. It's free, easy, and you'll be helping out the show. That's j.mp/Slowlist. That's SLWLIST.
Hi everybody, this is Hicks, all the way from Sweden, and you're listening to Exposure.
And we're back with Jim Sweeney, creator of Mike. Thank you so much for joining us.
Justin, thanks for having me on your show. I'm excited to be a part of it today.
So, for people who aren't familiar with you, tell us about your podcast.
I have a podcast called Mike on Sports. It's witty, creative, off-the-cuff musings about things that happen in the sports world. It's relatively new. I've had it on iTunes and Stitcher for the last couple months. However, I started in digital media with a blog and with ebooks, and I got to know and learn and study podcasting, and I said, wow, what a great way to expand what I've already started, to extend my Mike on Sports brand. And a Mike on Sports podcast was just a natural fit.
And so as you've been podcasting, what have some of the struggles been?
The struggles are the technical things. I'm a content creator from jump. I'm a creative guy. I like to write. I like to pen things. I like play on words. I like to put pen to paper or words to an audio file. But working out all the challenges when it comes to getting things up on my Libsyn site, trying to get everything to work smoothly when it comes to getting the Twitter feed out there, the Facebook posts, the LinkedIn posts, and get everything to work seamlessly. That's a little bit a big challenge for me, because I'm just technical enough to understand things, but to actually do them at times, that's where I want to pull the rest of the hair out of my head.
I hear you. And do you have any particular goals for this year for your podcast?
The main goal that I have is when I started my Mike on Sports business. And Mike, by the way, is a cartoon character by the name of Mike. His full name is Michael Anthony Raffone, aka Mike Raffone, or simply Mike. He's a cartoon character whom we call the ultimate talking head of sports, and he's a microphone. So my ultimate goal with the character is to utilize a number of different social media, digital media platforms, like podcasting, like blogs, like ebook publishing, and create the first ever animated brand that transcends all sports. So you could bring a character to life through animation, but that is just inordinately expensive. We spend close to $200 per finished second for the animation with our property. So before we get a licensing deal with a major network or a major corporation, we thought it best to be able to build brand equity and to build the voice of the character through the written word and the spoken word. And the spoken word obviously is podcasting. So our main goal, our ultimate goal, is to secure a licensing deal with a major sports network or a major corporation that they in turn can utilize their extensive platform and get Mike out there on TV, on their websites, and in the different arenas where they could go and fulfill the character and its content. My short-term goals is I want to get to the point where I got 100 podcasts. I got 27 to date. I want to keep on building my subscriber list with my podcasts. I want to learn how to be shrewder, better, quicker, more accomplished when it comes to sharing my podcasts, because like anything you do in life, you could always do it a little bit better and you could always fine-tune the engine. And my engine is still relatively new. I'm still pretty much a novice when it comes to podcasting, only having 27, very brief. They're all 2 to 5 minute podcasts on nutty, witty, clever, funny things having to do with sports.
But how do you, when it's time to sit down to do the podcast, what are some of the things you do to set up and start recording?
Well, fortunately, we have all the equipment. You know, we've got, garage bands on our Mac. We've got, the iPhones. We have the Mac Air product. We have the microphones, that we use, the headsets. We make sure we go into our studio, which I'm sitting in right now speaking with you, so that there's no pop, crackle, or fizzes in the background, that we don't have any ambient noises that are distracting. And I'll record it. My podcast is not extemporaneous like my wife's. Mine, I write the script, and sometimes I could record it 5 times. I mean, other times I've done it 25 or 30 times because it's short, it's quick, it's hard-hitting, and it needs to be funny, it needs to be witty to stay in line with who our character is. So I mentally prepare myself that, hey, it could take 10 minutes for me to do this 3-minute podcast after having done it, nailing it on the 3rd or 4th time, or I could be in here for a couple hours trying to get it right so that I'm happy with it. Also, I definitely want to be factual. I want to be funny. So my wife listens to the podcast as an independent audience, and it's not just me, and she could poke holes in things that I say. She could say, you need to take a breath there. You need to pause greater there to reinforce the point. You need to pitch your voice more. So also, my podcast is a cartoon character. As I mentioned earlier, our ultimate goal is to see the character on TV. So as a cartoon character, we actually accelerate Mike's voice by about 10 to 15%, and we also pitch the voice. So it sounds like Mike is the titanium American that we call him, that he's a tinny product that sounds like he's a tinny product. So they're the things that I think about, that I always do when I'm podcasting. And fortunately, we have a great relationship with a woman in St. Petersburg. Her name is Diane Cutts, and she is the one that does the production for the podcasts because she's expert on iTunes. So they're the things that I think about, that I prepare to do, and hope to follow every single time that I do a podcast. And even in my podcast, I want to give a shout out to my musical guys, Rittenhouse Staff. It's Greg Stauffer and Dave Rittenhouse. They've helped prepare the musical intro as well as the musical outro for all of our Mike podcasts.
So when you did leave the business, what did your family and friends think? Did they think, oh, you guys are crazy? Or they were like, oh, good, you're chasing dreams? What was the response?
Yeah, you're almost right. They didn't think we were crazy. They thought we were very crazy. They thought we had fallen off the deep end. They couldn't figure out why we would want to just segue out of a very, very successful business that we had been involved in and built from scratch over a 10-year period of time. But we got to the point in life where, we were fortunate, we were comfortable, we were successful and we never lived above our means. And we said, forget what other people think. Who cares? What do we think? And we thought we wanted to do something of purpose. And in my wife's podcast, you know, her podcast goes all over the world, many different countries, and she touches the hearts and minds of countless people. And I could see that as when I accompany her as a public speaker and she referenced her podcast and her titles and her messages, that people lean in and they totally drink in that what she's saying, and they're encouraged as a result of her message. My message is that I want to report on things in sports that, especially in my blog and my books, that otherwise aren't reported by ESPN, Fox, NBC, Bleacher Report. I want to dig a little bit deeper. I want to ask the probing questions, but you know, I never want to degrade somebody. I want to expose behavior patterns or call people on account for what they've said, but I want to impact, you know, the world, especially in sports, by holding people accountable to what they say and what they do that I think could be better. And like with our Mike character, he's funny, he's witty, he's a little irreverent at times, but we have a core set of values that are built into the base of the character. And what I mean is that Mike will not do certain things. In the few years that I've been doing this, he has never used profanity. He's never said anything of a sexual or racially derogatory way. He's never pushed the envelope such that he will knowingly get a rise out of people by offending others, and he'll never excoriate an individual so that that person just doesn't have any redeeming value. So Mike could be funny, you know, he could say some pretty bold and audacious things, but he's got to be true to who he is, and we always have to keep him in line with the core set of values that we've built into the character.
And when you aren't creating or brainstorming for your podcast and other content, what are some podcasts you listen to personally?
I listen to my wife's because I got to listen to everyone a half dozen, 8 times so I can help her edit and follow along and critique it. Or sometimes she can nail it on the first try, which is amazing. As far as some of the podcasts, you know, I listen to The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and I'm sure that's going to change because of his current position with ESPN. And if I wanted to get agitated and give myself a headache, I would listen to Bill Simmons, the BS Report. I think Bill Simmons is really sharp, but I can't always agree with what he says, but that's okay. That's the beauty of podcasting. You can put your opinions out there in cyberspace, and you can't possibly expect everybody to agree with you.
Of course. And so there's been a surge in the podcasting world lately. What do you think podcasting will look like in a couple of years?
It's like almost any business. You're going to have a lot of people clamoring to get into it, and then you're going to have people that can't stay the course, and some independents will continue to grow and become rock stars, and then corporate America will step in and start gobbling up, you know, some smaller entities and put them under their umbrella. So I think at this point in time, you're going to find it dominated by independents, and within a couple years or more, I think that corporate America is going to be dominating the podcasting world, and under one corporate entity, there could be 50 or 100 or a couple hundred individual podcasts, but they'll all fall under one umbrella that, you know, has figured out how to monetize them properly and has the mechanism with which to quickly, professionally, you know, get them to the right target audience.
I completely agree. I'm surprised actually that they're, you know, not here yet, to be honest. Not in, you know, large scale. Where can people find your podcast, your books, your content, blog?
The best place to find everything quickly is our blog, and it's themike.com. That's TheeMike.com. Not the Mike, but the Mike, TheeMike.com. And from that website, you could read my almost daily blog. I have a page on the website that will direct you to iTunes and Stitcher and Stitcher Radio, and it'll explain the nature of our podcast. And I also have multiple pages on the sites where you can see we have over 400 individual Mike Sports comics, and the site themike, TheeMike.com, will also direct you to 11 books that you can download for free off of our site. You can safely download the PDFs, or you could be redirected to Amazon, where I have a Mike author page on Amazon where there's 25 books that could be downloaded for 99 cents each.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Justin, this was great. You know, I appreciate every opportunity that comes my way where I could talk about our product, our property. I love Mike. I love what I do. And I'm very grateful for today's opportunity. So thank you.
Hashtag Free Stephen update. Now, Free Stephen. If Stefan, is on vacation, and I was just like, you know what? Hashtag Free Stephen, man. Just hashtag Free Stephen. He's not in jail yet. But yeah, he should be coming back. I don't know, the next episode or probably the episode after. So that would probably be episode 19. He should be back. I don't know if people are, excited. I don't know, But if you are excited, he'll be back in episode 19. We have so many nice guests lined up. It's just amazing. And we want to thank everyone for your support. Please share this show with your mother, your father, anybody you know named Steven. Share this show around. Help us grow. We're going to start trying to learn more about promotion and see how we can grow, and internally on our side what we can do to grow. But help us. Word of mouth is good too. Send somebody a link, and we'll be right back with Steven's favorite segment. I don't know, all his segments are his favorite or the best, so lies. We'll be right back with Article of the Week. And today's article of the week is about an animal, the dingo. The dingo is a free-ranging dog found mainly in Australia. Its exact ancestry is debated, but dingoes are generally believed to be descendants from semi-domesticated dogs from East or South Asia, which returned to a wild lifestyle when introduced to Australia. Now, I guess dingoes can be dangerous because there was a case in Australia about just Google dingo baby Australia and you'll find the case. And I just thought I didn't know what a dingo was. I kept wondering what a dingo was. I'm like, is it a bird? What does a dingo sound like a dog? I guess you could name it, your dog Dingo. Come here, Dingo. I I don't know. It's just odd. It's just an odd name. They do look like regular dogs, though. I don't know if you should go pet one. You know, you should never really go just pet stray dogs, right? And apparently, their diet range is from insects to buffalo. How in the world? Literally anything. Insects to buffalo. You eat anything then, you dingo. Could you imagine calling somebody? I guess it would be insulting if you call somebody a dingo. It sounds more, you know, like you're an idiot. But you're just a dog. You're just a low down, dirty dog. You know, that's a good thing to mention too. Why is everything bad attributed to dogs? Like low down, dirty dogs, sick as a dog. Do dogs get sick like that? I mean, I understand they die sooner, but don't like a lot of animals do. But then there's some animals that like live a really long time. Well, why is it sick as a dog? Really? Have dogs deserved that phrase? Are they sick like that? Low down, dirty dog. If you cheat on somebody, low down, dirty dog. What did the dog do? If anything, how many stories have you heard about dogs being loyal? Dog, like the owner's been gone for 10 years, and as soon as the dog sees them, they're like, oh, they go dingo on them. No, you don't like that term? I don't know. I'm not a big dog fan. I'm more of a cat fan, because dogs just seem too happy all the time. Some dogs, you know, some dogs. Right. But I like cats because I feel like they're more human. Sometimes they want to love you, and sometimes just leave me alone. Fill up that bowl and go on with your day. That's why I like cats. Like some days they just like fill it up and leave. Don't you got somewhere to go? And then some days they're like, no, don't leave me. I love you. Come pet me. And speaking of cats, on our channel, youtube.com/Slowlist in your face. That's Slowlist, INYA face. We have this video from Cataquan. Cataquan is also a podcast you can find on iTunes. There's also a video series on Slowlist in your face. And it was about this girl on Twitch who, I guess she was like, oh, she had her cat on her chair, and she's like, oh, give me a kiss. And then the cat scratched her eye. And you know how Cataquan is. You laugh, make fun of it. And then there's so many comments. Oh, you got so horrible. She could have went blind. And it's just like, relax. Just relax. Anyway, that was the article of the week. If you want to send us an article, please send it to slowlistnetwork@gmail.com. And we'll be right back, guys. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to help out the show, please head over to patreon.com/slowlist. If you want more content, you can head over to exposurepodcast.blogspot.com, or you can head over to youtube.com/slowlist in your face. That's INYA face. Please check out our guest, Jim Sweeney, on his podcast, Mike on Sports, with his character, The Mike. And that's THEE, Old English people. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at Exposure Pod. That's Exposure POD. Please follow us on Twitter at Exposure Show or the Slowlist Network. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of